As night fell, I spent a few hours walking around, enjoying the sights and the smells of, this curious part of the world. Stayed in Rome for 2 nights. Never good. Before retiring, I engaged another guest in conversation to find out what I could, but gathered little of use. Let's get going. We boarded the commercial passenger airship from one of Rome's many docks, and scrolled of luggage was handed by a line of figure with hooks and expendable poles fitted into their arms. I watched with an aerobax interest as they flung cases to one another, swung in and out of the cargo hold, moving about like monkeys. They were cheerful types, full of radical humour and efficiency, for we were all within the cabin of the craft within a few hours, and the ship itself was tugging at its docked ropes after an hour or so more. News. Terrorist outrage shakes Rome. Oh wow, I'm happy I got out of there. Where are we? Our trip was long and somewhat slow. I find the wait involving the travel interminable. Sorry. I would rather there was more rushing headlong into adventure, and little less planning and preparation. After all, I find no plan survives longer than a day on which it was made. The airship crossed Italy, and we were approached by one of the cabin staff, a middle-aged lady whose serving tray was joined to her left hip. Oh my god, why? Coffee, she asked, or would you prefer a plaisir? I asked for a coffee, and to my honour, she unscrewed the top of her left thumb and poured thick hot coffee into a mug directly. I was open-mouthed. She smiled at me. Milk? I'm not thirsty, I replied, suddenly queasy. Of course, she replied, still smiling, and then proceeded to carefully pour the coffee back into the copper pipe beside her forearm. With that, she stashed away to the next customers. Your character is now well healed. That was just a little too weird for me. Alright. The eggings below sparkled like a diamond-coated cloth. Even from its great height we could see the ferry boats plying their trade back and forth across the water. Will airships remove the need for sea travel? I muzzed to the man next to me, a short Greek fellow with a thick spectacle, who tutted with concern. I hope not, he answered, since boats are my livelihood. Putting out his hand, he introduced himself as Sophius, owner of the shipping freight company that ran goods between Greece and North America. I blinked in surprise. Was this the man drunk Fametia had been so angry about? He seemed thoughtfully harmless after all. I asked him about Athens, as he spoke at length about his home city, how gorgeous it was in its illuminate past and wondrous buildings. I had a sense of Monsieur Sophis, despite sitting beside me miles up in the air beneath a hydro-filled balloon, was happy to live inside his imagination, and several hundred years in the past. In Athens! Market. Don't need the Russian wardrobe, part of the urban traveller set. Great value here. Top hat. It's also pretty decent value here. Is this Alatina? Not sure. No, I'm in Athens. That's what I thought. Oh, I like that. Urban traveller. Elastic wallet. You know what? That's kind of genius. I'm gonna sell this. I don't think I need it right now. And get that for the hell of it. Alright. I have to stay here. There's no planning. Weird. We passed the night here. My master was not, as a rule, particularly interested in the fabulous lokes and exotic cities we journeyed through. Athens was an exception that provided the rule. His sudden interest was not limited to the city. He filled me with a look. Do you speak Greek? I had spent a glorious summer in Greek constitutionist who could do most elegance arbescrew. Hedge-y? Not really, I hedged. I was not entirely certain Monsieur Fogg would approve of my rather specialised vocabulary, nor my elegy methods of language inquisition. Despite my master's grasp of ancient Greece, the demonic variant more commonly spoken on the streets include him. We were reduced to asking for direction through Maimonides, opposite quotations from Homer, my master, and rather remembered flattery, moe encore. We picked our way through labyrinth streets of Palipak and ended up to Acropolis. I gazed at the Pantheon columns. It was a magnificent sight, even in ruins. I could only imagine how it must have looked 2,000 years ago, the jewel of the crown of Athenian Empire. It is exquisite, I breathed, interrupting Monsieur Fogg's silence, revealed without quite meaning to. Alas, our quiet companion moment did not return. Character is now 7. Let's explore, 'cause apparently I can't leave here. There we go. I took a few hours to explore, investigating the various options for how we might continue our journey. Yes, go, now. Embark. Izmir. We boarded the daily ferry across the Aegean Sea. I'm really sorry now if I start wrecking names of really nice places. Just past this point, I don't know any, and I've probably wrecked enough from this point anyway. And then sat down on the deck, enjoying the sunshine. Yeah, let's enjoy the sunshine. Getting some much-needed rest. I'd like to converse. What is your wish, master? I'm passy pot out. There you are. Money. How are our funds? We are very well funded indeed. You have made excellent decisions. Woohoo! We have learnt about... What have you learnt about Izmir? You might be interested that you can get into Istanbul from Izmir by public carriage, but it's slow going. Did you discover anything about the paper about Beirut? There are refugees apparently in Beirut. Okay. How do I get down there? I need down there. I can't go up. I want down. I'm gonna have to explore and hope there's a way to actually get down. Other passengers miled around talking loudly and drinking oozed chills by chips and ice cream carved from blocks in the hold of the ship. The boat had the air of the market cafe or the gathered crowd before a concert. Clearly, sunshine is good for the soul. Otherwise, I spent my time in conversation, hoping to gather information about the next journey, and I picked up from the remarkable engineer police gentleman the lost city standing in the desert between Berat and Badudag? Explore. Let's explore. Port Samara or Izmara is the location called it was the gateway to Ottoman trade with Europe. The British and French had their own consults of private quarries, but there was also a Dutch and veterinary flags amongst the fleet of trade ships, and digirables. Okay. I acquired the docks from fishermen and merchants with little success until I tried bribing them. At that point, they turned violent, quite certain I was insulting their dearly held honour. I found shelter in a warehouse of merchants who watched my arrival with suspicious caution. I do not understand tourists. Why go somewhere unless you have a purpose? She made another mark at her ledger, with more force than a strict requirement. We're going around the world, I declared, with a customary enthusiasm. She rolled her eyes so thoughtfully I feared she would do herself an injury. I should have expected nothing less from a culture with invented the galliette, she sighed, but to my chagrin declined to elaborate upon her distasty for delicious foodstuff. I asked about onward travel and she shrugged. I have no idea of the most pleasant journey, she replied, but the fastest is surely be Taman to Istanbul to Terath and beyond. It's a whole new kind of engine, they say. I bade her farewell as the sun began to set. Cloaked members of the Artifice Guild appeared to the light of the gas lamps along the harbour front. A sailor played a tune of the Lair, while his compatriots sang along. It was going to be a beautiful night in Mazar. Oh, God. It's not going to let me down. I want to go down, which is really annoying because I don't think I can. I took a brief turn around the docks once more and rose. Came across a cheerful fisherman sitting on the deck of his traveller. You look, yes. I'll be sailing tomorrow morning. I thanked him and said we would consider it. No, I want to go. Further along, I encountered a few grisly souls playing dominoes. I watched them play, but could make nothing of it. They appeared to be strategizing and counterplays, but it seemed as random as a game as Find the Lady. Oh, yes. Leaving now. Oh, yes. Thank you, fisherman. We boarded a small boat that smelled of various kinds of fish, and which put out from the port at first light. Greetings, Captain Dukvok. You are amazing. Join the voyage. I am told Alitia is one of the most beautiful places on Earth. Ah, now, there's a tale. Is it possible to travel from Alitia to Tehran? There's a scuttlebutt. The quickest way to Tehran is here, as to go via Baghdad. Is there a route from Baghdad, Alitia to Baghdad? You talk a lot, don't you? Okay. I could have been a fisherman. A gentle tug of the line, such a tiny signal, but then correctly read, so satisfying. The silence of open water, no one to issue orders except warm baths and cup of teas at exactly the correct temperature and with the requisite half finger of milk. The pleasant work of skinning and gutting the catch is it lands on the deck before it can flop away. Yes, I could have been a fisherman, but sadly I had the misfortune of becoming an acrobat at an early age, and after that a valet. When I finally left the desk and went below to attend my master, he merely advised his nostril, declaring, "Pass out, you smell like fish." Ah, the windy paths of our lives take. Relationship with Frog have slightly declined, damn it, and our character is now zestful. Clean Frog up. Thank you. Yes. Got to where we wanted to go. We rounded the coast of Turkey, clinging to the shore. We saw several other boats plying the water, some fishy vessels, some ferries. I asked one of the fishermen about the port. He suggested it's a nice enough place, small. I don't think you want to stay long. You'll be back on a boat within a few hours. I fancy I heard Monsieur groan, but no, I must have imagined it. A few hours later we were on dry land once more. A bath, Monsieur Frog muttered. I must have a bath. Nah. Let's explore and see if we can go along land somehow. I spent the afternoon rambling about Kelly Seek, the historical town of Antalya, which was where I happened upon a group of Turkish dockhands unloading crates of veterinary goods into a warehouse flying the French flag. Alright, I'm going to pause there and come back next episode to finish off this reading and continue on from Antalya, and yeah, Turkey. I hope you had a good episode. I hope you watch more of my episodes. I hope you like, comment and subscribe because it helps me out, and I will see you in the next video I decide to make. Bye guys!